We got Pedro Munhoz versus Jimmie Rivera. Now, we know that Pedro has got something to prove because he lost his fight to... first of all, he was the one to put his hand up against Frankie Edgar. And he's been fighting for quite some time. He's been in the UFC since 2014. And Frankie Edgar was the one who, on his bantamweight debut, he was the one who took it. Now, it is a massive gamble when you're ranked in the top 10 and you take a non-ranked opponent.
But it was Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually said that Frankie didn't win that. I saw Pedro winning that. And I could see where they thought that perhaps because Frankie was throwing a shit ton of volume, whereas Pedro was hitting the harder strikes that we were expecting.
Yeah.
Munhoz has edged it because of the damage he's created, whereas I thought Edgar won probably 3 rounds to 2 because Frankie, he just had volume.
Yeah.
He did very well.
Pedro's been that guy. The reason why he's an exciting fighter because he's been the guy who's got a tough chin and he's always been the guy who loves to go for the knockout. Like, he was the one who put down Cody Garbrandt when he was in bantamweight, and then he put him away for a while. He hasn't lost via a knockout since 2000, and he's never been knocked out. Oh, wait. He's never been knocked out. He's never been knocked out at all.
Yeah.
All of his losses are either by submission or by decision. So
Yeah. And we know that Pedro's got power because... his fight against Cody was very, it was a tough fight for both individuals. It was certainly competitive, but then, Pedro looked like he got a little bit wobbled in the Garbrandt fight, but then, as Garbrandt does, gets a bit emotional, gets caught up in the firefight, and he started to trade and bang, and it just didn't work out for Garbrandt. And Pedro's, we know Pedro's has got power. We saw that in the Frankie Edgar fight. Although he wasn't hitting with the same amount of volume, the damage he was creating and the power of those shots, now that we don't have a crowd, you can hear those shots a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
I think Jimmie will beat him.
Yeah. Well, Jimmie's only lost a few times. Jimmie's actually...
He's been in the UFC
He's
for
a very
long time.
patient person, Jimmie Rivera, because he's 31 now. He's in his prime, and obviously he's on his way to top. Because his last fight was against Cody Stamman, which he won.
Unanimous decision.
Yeah, it was a good fight. But here's the thing though, both Pedro and Jimmie, they've lost to Aljamain Sterling. Yeah, so that's why it's a bit. It's just a further solidifies why Aljamain Sterling's. He's sort of knocked out everyone or beaten everyone on his way to the top, and he's won a lot of it's either decision or submission.
It'll be interesting because this is the second time they're fighting. This is going to be a rematch. I believe it was in 2015 when they last fought. Now, Jimmie won last time by split decision.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting Jimmie to do it again, perhaps another unanimous decision again because, Jimmie Rivera, he's been in the UFC for a long time, accumulated a lot of experience. Now, I'm expecting Rivera to win. He's just tough. He's tough as fuck.
Well, one thing Rivera has is experience on his side because his losses are to Marlon Morales, Aljamain Sterling, and Petr Yan. 3 of the best. Marlon Morales obviously lost again, but two of the best. He was
number 1 contender as well.
Yeah, he's lost to the number 1, and he was number 1 contender. He's got that experience on his side, and sometimes that experience from those losses is a good thing because you take it and then you mold it and then you sort of forge it. So one thing he has an advantage over if he were to fight them again, he understands their styles because he's come across it before, so he knows how to switch it up a little bit. So I agree with you. I'm expecting him to win this fight, and I'm expecting him to sort of go up in the rankings a little bit because I can see him again be a contender.
I just want to see what the odds are because this is, the other ones seem a bit more clean cut. However, by Rivera winning a tough fight against Munhoz back in 2015 to split decision, it'd be interesting to actually know who... Okay, so we know that Rivera is the favorite. Minus 145 favorite against Pedro Munhoz. Munhoz is about plus 15 on most sites or plus 125. So, interesting matchup because they fought last time in 2015. I just feel like Rivera's he's done very, very well. He's got more experience than Munhoz, but Rivera, the only people he's lost to recently have only been those 3 fights, right? And they've never been back-to-back. It's either been Aljo, Peter Yan, or Marlon Moraes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Marlon Moraes, he did get KO'd. I believe it was by a head kick. But Rivera, when he fought Peter Yan, he had a crazy volume strike.
Yeah.
A crazy amount of striking volume against Peter Yan. It just seemed like Peter Yan was hitting the harder shots and the more significant shots, but Rivera had volume.